Hey everybody! Welcome to day 3 of your Bellringer. We're going to start with the line plot today. This is one of the more challenging problems in this problem set, and it's always a good idea to get the hardest activities out of the way first while your brain is still fresh. We're going to complete a line plot using this set of data. 4/5, 1 1/3, 9/3, 1 4/5. Okay, to begin with, I see one improper fraction. We know that this fraction bar also represents a division sign. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So for 9/3, we'll mark that as 3 on our line plot. Okay, next I'm looking at my denominators and I see unlike fractions that need to be converted. Thirds and fifths. Let's think about a common denominator that we can use for thirds and fifths. I think 15 will work well. We're going to multiply 5 times 3 and 4 times 3. That will give us 12/15 instead of 4/5. Coming back down to, 1 4/5, that's going to convert to 1 12/15. That was easy to do. That just leaves us with 1 1/3, which we're going to convert to 1 and some number of 15. I'm just moving it over here because I'm running out of space. Okay, I'm going to multiply 3 times 5 to get 15. Whatever I do to the top, I also have to do to the bottom. 1 times 5 is 5. So 1 5/15 has the same value as 1 1/3. Now we're going to place these pieces of data on our line plot. Let me get some more space to work with here. Okay. One thing that I'm noticing is that people are not putting X's on their line plot to represent each piece of data. So this 12/15, this number represents one piece of data with that value. So we need to put an X above it on the line plot. I'm going to go from 0 to I have 1. Yeah, so I guess I'll go from 0 to 2. No, because I also have 3 holes. Sorry. All right, smallest piece of data, 0. Biggest piece of data, 3. In the middle, 1 and 2. So 12/15, what this is saying is that we're taking the space in between 0 and 1 and dividing it into 15 equal pieces. So here's 3 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3. If I cut each of these 3 equal pieces into 5, I'll end up with 15 altogether. Okay, so 12/15 would be located right about, this is 5/15, 10/15, 11/15, 12/15 is right here. And that is the same as 4/5. Now I put an X on top to represent that value. Okay, I did that one. Let's see, now I'm going to do 1 5/15, which is right here. Put an X on top. Done with that one. 3, that's easy enough. And that just leaves me with 1 12/15, which is going to be squished up here really, really close to my other value. There we go. All right, there's my line plot. That's all there was to it. Next, let's do our volume problem. We're going to multiply the length times the width times the height. And the total, once I've multiplied all of that, will be the volume of this figure. So when you think of a figure like this, think of like a rectangular prism like this. And it has a length of 12, a width of 9, and a height of 3. So 12 times 9, oh gosh, you know what? I don't want to do it that way. Okay, let's start this way instead. 9 times 3 is 27. Now we'll do 27 times 12. And I can just come down here and do it off to the side. Now I want you to solve this part on your own, meaning pause the video and then double check what I come up with your own work. 2 times 7 is 14. Put down the 4, carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 1. Sorry, 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. Now I need to put a 0 as a placeholder. That's very important. Cross this out. I've already added it. Cross out my ones place. I'm done with my ones place. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 1 is 2. Add up my two partial products, and I've got 324 cubic centimeters. When you're measuring the volume of something, you always have to express the volume in cubic units. So that could be cubic centimeters, cubic meters, even cubic miles if you're talking about something really big. Next, we're going to change 3 and 7/9 to an improper fraction. When I look at 3 and 7/9, I first want to think about the denominator, because that tells me how many equal pieces each of these 3 wholes has been cut into. So I can picture my 3 wholes are composed of 9/9, or 1 whole, plus another 9/9, that gives me 2 wholes, plus another group of 9/9, and that gives me my 3 wholes. So that takes care of that. Then I can't forget my 7/9. I need to include that as well. So here I have 9, 18, 27/9 plus 7 more 9ths. Let's see, 27 plus 3 more would get me to 30, plus 4 more would get me to 34/9. So 3 and 7/9 is equivalent to 34/9. I have to just say, as an aside, I will not give you credit for this problem if all you do is type or write the answer. You must show me your work to go with it. Next, we're going to calculate the difference between 7 and 3 and 5/6. Now, there's a couple of different ways you could do this. I'm going to show you how to do it using a number line first. We're going to start with the number 3 and then mark 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, 7 is our end point. That's where we want to end up. Our starting point is not here at 3, but actually a lot closer to 4, because 3 and 5/6 is just ever so slightly, only a teeny bit further, and we would be right on the 4. So this is the 3 and 5/6. We always want to start by looking at our denominator. That tells us that the space in between each whole number here, whole number here, is divided into 6 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, sorry, that's a little bit sloppy, but that's 6 pieces, even if they're not equal pieces. 6 equal pieces, 6 equal pieces, 6 equal pieces. Okay, so the distance from 3 and 5/6 to 4 is a distance of only 1/6. I just have to add 1/6 to this to get to my 4. Then I'm just going to jump 1 whole, another whole, and then a third whole. So 1, 2, 3, and 1/6 is the distance from 3 and 5, 6 to 7. Now, to me, that's an easier way to solve it than what I'm about to show you, but the way that I'm about to show you is probably the way that your parents would solve it, so I want to show this to you in case they are kind of reviewing this with you at home and they want you to do it their way, okay? Okay, so another way to do this would be to take your 7 wholes and convert that to an improper fraction using this denominator, which is 6. So 7 wholes is the same as 7 groups of 6, 6, or 42 6. Then you would take your 42 6, all right, hang on. Then you would take your 3 and 5 6 and convert that to an improper fraction. So that would be 3 groups of 6, 6. That's your 3 wholes. That gives you 18, 6. 18, 6 plus 5, 6 gives you 23, 6. Now we can subtract 42, 6 minus 23, 6. Let's see, 42 minus 20 is 22, minus 3 more is 19. So now we've got 19 sixths, and then we'd have to convert that to a mixed number, which would be 3 and 1/6. Okay, so we got the same answer twice, but I kind of think my way's easier. Okay guys, just 2 problems left to do, and I'm going to let you do these on your own. There's a place value problem and a measurement problem. Remember that I am grading these Bellringers. You cannot get full credit if you do not upload written work, or you also have the choice of typing your thinking and your problem solving process on the Google Slides. One way or the other, I need to see that you have worked out these problems step by step by step.